Again, when I say reminds me a little bit of Mahomes. Physically, the way he moves. He's not big like Josh Allen. He has a good arm. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. I'm Mike Catalana. Dan and Jenna with Veteran Days Off. They deserve it. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This is The League podcast brought to you by Stellar Roofing, Windows, and Siding. They do it all. We thank Stellar for being part of the family here at Buffalo Plus. And I'm in the new Connors and Ferris podcast studio. You will get to see the entire studio when you check it out when we do our podcast, our whole team, coming up on Thursday. All right, we want to talk to you a little bit about things going around the league. And for this week, I wanted to talk about the young quarterbacks, first and second year players, guys that haven't gotten that much opportunity. We're going to talk about some of the quarterbacks that the Bills are going to face this year and how they've looked so far. I've talked before about the preseason and the way a player can look and how that overreaction to what we saw in the preseason doesn't always play through in the regular year. I'm not going to say one game does that either. There are some players like, look, we're not going to talk about Jaden Daniels. He already proved what he is, at least for 1 year, taking a team to the playoffs. And I'll have to put Bo Nix in that category. I thought Daniels was better, but Bo Nix led a team to the playoffs and played extremely well. Both have good teams that should be playoff teams or certainly playoff contenders. So I think you already have a very good idea of what those guys have done. Some other players haven't gotten there yet, maybe didn't get as much of an opportunity. How do they look through 1 week of the year, and what are we going to see in week number 2? So I'm going to start this by talking about, one other thing I wanted to mention. I'm also going to have our top 5 teams of the week and our bottom 5 teams of the week. Last week, I had the Cowboys in there. Cowboys fans, you heard it. I had you as the worst team in the league. Now, I also said I don't think they have the worst talent in the league, and I will never admit this. So even though this is being recorded, I'll pretend like I didn't say it. Cowboys impressed me a little bit. They pushed the Eagles in that game. Now, the Eagles played a poor game, or certainly a mistake-filled game, but the Cowboys showed a lot of heart. It's still a stupid thing to trade Micah Parsons. We'll talk more about him, but the Cowboys showed it. So I put another team in that bottom 5. It's a well-known team. We'll wait a little bit. We'll get to that. So let's talk about the quarterbacks. I want to talk about Drake May. It's year 2 for Drake May with the Patriots. I think the guy's got a lot of talent. He has been compared to, physically, makeup-wise, of Josh Allen. That's great because I think back to Josh Allen as a rookie, Josh Allen then in year 2, and we've all seen how he's evolved. It's a big leap. And sometimes these are, the guy reminds me of him, plays like him. He's not going to be Josh Allen. If he's that good, you are blessed, Patriot fans, because Josh Allen's right now the best player in the NFL. But I think he has the ability to be good. It's still early in the process, and already, year 2, he's got a new coach, new OC. So he played in the game against the Raiders. I got to see a good portion of it, and I thought he had moments where he looked pretty good. Now, again, he now has Josh McDaniels as his coordinator. That guy's obviously had a lot of success. It was with that kid called Tom Brady, but he can coach. I don't necessarily want to judge Drake May on last year and then this game because that's a major change. Very different coaching staff, with Vrabel as his head coach. Very different OC. And a guy who's had success and is really liked in that building in Foxborough in Josh McDaniels. What I saw was moments, right? Drake May can look the part. I think his overall stats, when you look at it, if you're box score scouting, I think the numbers look better than the way he played. Weather wasn't great. That's always a consideration. Like I said, a new coordinator, 30 of 46, 287 yards, touchdown, and interception. Red zone, not great. The second half, not great. And, those other things came into play. It was rainy and windy. He completed 14 of 20 for 150 in the first half. The interception was a big mistake. He had Diggs, Stephon Diggs. Bills fans know him well. Open, overthrew him, and it was picked off. The second half possessions were not great. I mean, that's winning time. Vrabel talks about that a lot. He's not alone in this. How do you play when the game is on the line? And the Raiders played tough. Like, they have a change in the coaching staff. They got some dudes on that defense, and they played well. I think May's still got a long way to go. If you're a Patriots fan, you're probably not watching this. But if you are and hearing thoughts because of Josh Allen, 2019 for Josh, he was good. He wasn't perfect. He wasn't even close to even what we've seen in 20 and 21 and 22. His skills, and this is what I think May's going to want to do. He's got the physical skills. He can throw the ball. He can move. He's got those things. They're trying to get him help in pass catchers. When the Bills went out and got Beasley and then eventually got Diggs, and they had John Brown, like in 19, that's the guys he had. He didn't have Diggs yet. He was better. He certainly was better. He had Brian Daboll as his coordinator, guy who'd been around the league, didn't have the success that McDaniels had as a coordinator, who's actually on some of those Patriots staffs. But I think it's the kind of coaching that you want. I think May's been okay. It was okay in the game. Not great. I think the expectations for him are going to be pretty high. And it's not always the end result. I think this entire organization is built around building him up. And we'll see what Diggs does for them. I would say all these players, it's incomplete. I would say, again, if you're a Patriots fan, go back and watch Josh Allen in 2019. Good. Eventually got that team to the playoffs. They ended up losing that game to Houston, where you saw, if you just want to watch Josh Allen in 2019, watch the Bills-Patriots playoff game in 2019 in Houston. 16-0 Bills at the half. Second half was a disaster. Josh made some great plays, caught a touchdown early in the game on a throw from John Brown, I believe, and then went backwards, threw a deep ball to his fullback. Like, it was the full experience. And that's not the guy you see now playing for the Bills. So maybe that's a thought of what it could be. We'll see the Bills. We'll see the Patriots down the line. They're going to see Carolina too. Bryce Young. Wasn't great. Week number 1, 18 to 35, 154 touchdown, 2 interception against the Jags. Lost a fumble. Last year was so strange for him, right? They ended up benching him. It's just, okay. I don't know what was going on there in Carolina. Maybe that was an owner's call in that case. But he's got back in, and he was really good. I looked his last nine games when he came back, 17 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Like, he is a smaller player, but he's talented, and they're trying to get him players with him. It's not a great roster. They've got issues down there, but again, I think it's the long play. It'll be interesting to see where he is now in year number 2 when the Bills are down there later in October. So that's still another, it's like 6-7 weeks away when the Bills go to Carolina to play him. Incomplete because I think there's been too much change. I don't like what they did. I don't like, if you're going to start the guy, he's got to stay in. And they ended up putting him on the bench, and they brought him back. But to his credit, came back strong. Week number 1 against the Jags, not a great defense. Got a few dudes on that team. So that wasn't all that impressive, but we'll see where he is. They also play New Orleans this year in Orchard Park. Spencer Rattler got the start. I just think the Saints are terrible. I think it's been a underachieving organization. Rattler's starting for now. 27 to 46. He did have 2 10-play drives in the first half in the game. Second half is bad. 3 punts. They made a field goal, missed another field goal. I think it's a bad team. I don't even know how long he's going to be, like the guy playing there. I think he's going to have a very difficult time if he's starting when he comes to Orchard Park. I think that's a rough day for him coming up. I don't see it in Spencer Rattler. Maybe he's just a placeholder, but we'll see. So Rattler, okay, but I'm not expecting a lot. Michael Penix. I like a lot of what I've seen. Isn't it funny when the Falcons drafted him after they had signed Kirk Cousins? People are like, why are they taking a quarterback? It took you back a little bit because they gave Cousins a lot of money. But it was a smart play. They were in the top 10, and Penix has ability. And he showed a lot of it against the Bucks. 27 to 42, 298. Led the drive late, scored the touchdown to give them the lead. They end up giving up the lead to Baker. Ibuka, by the way, that kid can play. Just what they, look at the tradition the Bucks have had at wide receivers. They look like they got a guy there, at least in the early going. Led him down the field for the field goal to tie it. His kicker, awful kick, missed at the buzzer. So led a drive to give him the lead, led a drive that would have tied the game, played well. Yeah, I think he's big. I think he can be a physical player. I think he can throw the ball. I think he has, he's got Bijan, and they certainly want to get the ball to Drake London. I'm out on the tight end. Like, I just don't see it. But Michael Penix can play, and the Bills are down there second week in October on a Monday night game. That's going to be fun. That'll be fun to see. And I think keep your eye on Penix a little bit in that division. I mean, here we are talking about certainly the other three teams. I think when you look at, obviously you got Baker, and then you got Bryce Young, and now Penix, and we'll see where the Saints. I just think the Saints stink. I don't know why I'm so negative in that case. I just don't think they've known what they're doing, and they're in a rebuild. So that makes it tough on a quarterback. Watch Caleb Williams play. Again, he's got Ben Johnson now as his coordinator. Change. Okay. He's got a change in head coach and play caller is what I'm saying as a head coach. The guy can really look the part when you watch him play, right? He moves well. He can run, smart, scored a touchdown. Like he's got some physical movements and some plays he makes that, again, when I say reminds me a little bit of Mahomes. Physically, the way he moves. He's not big like Josh Allen. He has a good arm, but I think I see that. I think that's what people talked about when he was drafted. They ended up losing the game. We'll talk more about that. I think the biggest issue for him, at least in the opener, after, again, here's a guy coming in as the quarterback. They end up firing the coach. They move on from everybody. So year two, he's got a whole new thing going. But Ben Johnson looked like he could really coach and really call plays. So give him some time. But second half, they had 4 punts. They did have a late TD in the game to get closer and a missed field goal. So he had a couple other drives, but that was the time. And also, I want to say this. That Vikings defense, Brian Flores can coach defense. That D-line gets after it. That is a team, if they get, and we'll talk about that, if they get some play, they could be good. I'm bringing these up. The Bills don't play the Bears in the regular season. They played them in the preseason. Saw a little bit of Caleb Williams, but I wanted to mention that. The other guy they don't play, they play them next year. I think they play both these teams next year, is J.J. McCarthy. He's known as a winner, right? Because he played at Michigan. I never saw the physical ability watching him in college, but they liked him. You know what happened. They drafted him. Then he gets hurt and he doesn't play. And then Sam Darnold leads them to 15 wins and then falls apart at the end of the year. So they go with McCarthy. I'll give him this. He started out in the first half, couple of field goals, 4 punts, starts the second half with a pick 6. And then he played like a winner the rest of the game. Made some tough throws, looked pretty poised in the pocket. Numbers were nothing spectacular. Actually, I think he only threw for about 150 yards. I'd say he played like a winner. It's one game. The Bears are constantly redoing the defense. It's a little different judging there. Caleb Williams going against that Vikings defense. I would say this. But I think J.J. McCarthy played. Kevin O'Connell's a really good coach, too. Very good with quarterbacks. So that should be a positive for him. But I was impressed. Again, it's a win on the road against a division opponent in his first game. I know he's not a rookie, but he's basically a rookie because he didn't play last year getting injured. So we'll do that. And then the other rookie that played was the number 1 pick, Cam Ward. He's with the Titans. His QBR was like 7. He was 12 of 28, 112 yards, got sacked 6 times. He's going up against the Broncos in week number 1. Lost a fumble. That is a very good defense playing against Denver. Absolutely incomplete on the guy. I think they're building something there eventually, but it ain't there yet. And it's going to be a rough ride for him. I hope he stays healthy. I hope he gets to play. I don't really love the team around him. I think they have to build around him. So, really unfair to judge Cam Ward. I looked at some of those young quarterbacks, especially when I was watching that Bears Vikings games, and I thought that would be something to talk about, especially for Bills fans with the ones you are going to see. The Drake May one is really interesting. By the way, Justin Fields is not young, but he's on his third team. We have a full interview with Janae Coakley from SNY. It's on the What They're Saying in this case in New York City about the Bills and the Jets. We talk about Justin Fields. So if you want to watch that, Janae gives a good breakdown of what's going on with the Jets too. So he's a younger player. Still not really that young. What is he in his fourth year now? But on his third organization, but looked pretty good. So we'll see what the Bills see on Sunday. All right, top 5, bottom 5. Let's start with my bottom 5 teams in the league. Last week, I had the Cowboys as the worst team in the league. I'm going to start 5, and it tells you where I'm going here. I'm starting 5 with the Saints. It's a bad roster, poorly managed. We talked about this before. Did not play well. That is blowout city when they come to Buffalo, in my opinion. Chris Olave got hurt again. I hope he's okay. I think they said it wasn't a concussion. That's the big concern with him. I think they're going to be doing some dealing. That would be my guess at some point, but we'll see what happens. 4th, I have the Giants. They have some talented guys on that team. Russell Wilson is not any good. Should not be the starter. They would have been better off going with Jameis and then getting the backup Jackson Dart ready to play. Don't like what I heard that the Giants did with Jackson Dart, where media members were trying to talk to him. Look, he's an active player on the team. They said there was a package in for Jackson Dart. He didn't play. And then they want to talk to him, and you're saying no. First of all, you're not really allowed to do that. Let Jackson Dart talk to the media. The kid's pretty bright. He's not going to say, I'm after Russ's job. He's going to say all the right things. He's going to say, I'm here to help Russ. I'm here to be ready if my name's called. Or you're going to baby a guy in New York City. I know Daboll knows this better than anybody. I don't know if that's Joe Schoen. I don't know if it's ownership. I don't think it's Daboll. I know sometimes they like to protect young quarterbacks. I think they should let him talk. He's going to play. I said the under-over on starts last week before the game was 4.5, and I took the under. Did I say 4.5 or 5? Whatever. I took the under because I think he's going to play pretty quickly. Russ can't play. And they were bad in the game. So let's see what happens. Browns defense was tough. Do you know they held Joe Burrow? Got to play early. Got to be ready. They had Joe Burrow and the offense of the Bengals to 7 yards in the second half. It's a record for the lowest amount of yards for a team that won a game, which also tells you how bad the Browns offense is. But yeah, it's one thing to score on the Bengals because their defense isn't any good. Obviously, they played a little better. But that defense is pretty good, but the offense is bad. Quarterback play is bad. I put them in there because they're the Browns. I mentioned the Titans with a rookie. I have them at number 2. Self-explanatory. Like they're going to struggle for a while. And number 1, I've got the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, Miami Dolphins. You're number 1. They sing that song. Number 1. I think it's a bad song. Anyhow, they stink. And then, Tyreek Hill, there's some off the field allegations from a lawsuit about him, just adds to it. They couldn't get him the ball. Mike McDaniel, came out and said, yeah, we didn't get it to him. We had a few chances. That was a lack of execution by some of his teammates. Mike, when you say that, you got to either say who it is or don't say it, because now you're thinking, oh, is it the other wide receivers? He's like not doing their part on the field. I think he's talking about other wide receivers maybe not properly running their routes. Joe Brady calls them Brady routes when you're not getting the ball, but you got to clear out of space. Maybe that's what it is, but kind of a weird thing for the coach to say. That organization's a mess. That team is a mess. They stink. I predicted them 4th place, and I think that's where they're going to end up. So I have them as the worst team. My top 5 teams in the league. I'm going to start at 5, and I'm going to put the Philadelphia Eagles there. I still think they're going to be really good. I said they're going to win the division. I had them at 2 last week. They did not play well. They'll be fine on defense. They will figure things out. It's just the way Vic Fangio knows what he's doing. It's funny. The Dolphins didn't think Fangio knew what he's doing. He goes to the Eagles. They were number one. They're still replacing guys. Corner two is a bit of a thing for them. They're at the Chiefs this week, so Bills fans will be Eagles fans this week. I don't know how that game comes out. Chiefs are banged up a little bit. Thought the Eagles were okay. Made some big mistakes. Jalen Carter was an idiot with the spitting thing, so I lowered them down. I got them at number 5. I have the Chargers at 4. And if anybody watches our channel all the time, I think Justin Herbert is very talented. I don't like that he had been elevated up to that number 5 spot or number 6 spot because he's so bad when he had opportunities in the playoffs. He looked awesome in Brazil. He played a great football game. He played a little like Josh Allen. Big arm, ran. He can run. And he beat the Chiefs on that last run to seal the game. I thought they were impressive. I thought the Chargers looked good, and he looked great. Give him his props. He looked great. Number 3, I've got the Ravens. I'm at the game, obviously. They were dominant in that game. They did what they wanted on offense. And the defense, while the Bills were scoring some early, the Bills looked a little lost. They couldn't get guys open. They did not run the ball well. They found a way to stay in the game. And then I got to say this, Ravens going to Raven late. Like they fumbled the ball. They didn't go for it on 4th down like they did those things. They still have the best roster in the NFL. Maybe this is on Harbaugh. John, you got to go for it on that 4th down. I know Lamar said he had cramps. Call timeout. Give him a little time. Send him out there as a decoy. You gave the Bills the ball after what wasn't even a great punt with a minute and a half to go, and they drove down the field on you. That's a great roster. I have the Bills at number 2. Defense was horrendous for most of that game. Came up with a couple of plays. They didn't even really compete against Derrick Henry. Didn't compete against him. They got to be a lot better. Fortunately for the Bills, they're not going to see the Ravens until the playoffs when I think they'll see them. It's a terrible matchup for the Bills, and somehow they won that game. Somehow it's number 17. I got the Ravens at 2 because I still think they're a great roster. And I'm got to give it to the Packers. They dominated the Lions in that game. Dominated. Jordan Love looked good. Another guy I've been critical of because I think sometimes these guys get elevated too high, and he played really well. His receivers made some big plays. They look like a team that's saying, we're going to win this division. And I think it's tough for the Lions. 2 new coordinators. That does make it tough. The Vikings look pretty good with McCarthy, but I think the Packers looked really strong. And oh, yeah, Micah Parsons can play. Did you see him, Jerry, chasing down the quarterback? Did you see it? That's why you don't trade guys like that. You got a lot of money, but you should stay away from running your football team. I think Micah Parsons is going to make a big impact on that team. I mean, he blew by Penei Sewell, pushed around him, and just tracked down Jared Goff. Green Bay looked good. They deserve to be number 1. All right, that's going to do it for me. I did a lot of talking. I want your comments. Make sure you comment on what you think. We'll do this every week. If you got ideas for pods when we talk about the league, Jenna and Dan will join me. It's been a busy week. Will be joining me at times on this podcast, the league podcast. So we'll talk about different things around the league. But I wanted to get a little talk on the young quarterbacks and where they are going forward. So that's going to do it for me from the Connors and Ferris podcast studio. We thank Connors and Ferris. And certainly we thank our sponsor for the league, Stellar Roofing, Windows, and Siding. Big supporter of Buffalo Plus, and we appreciate it. All right, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mike Catalana for my team. I won't say my staff because somebody said that. My team. We're all teammates together, 1/3 each. Jenna Cottrell, Dan Fates, and myself. Thanks for watching the league, and we will see you the next time on Buffalo Plus.